Right, so welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. And today we're looking into the political scene in Karnataka.
Yeah.
And, it's like watching one of those, like, really good political dramas.
Oh, absolutely.
All the twists and turns and alliances you never saw coming.
It's a fascinating time to be to be following it, that's for sure.
It really is. And right at the center of it all, we've got Deputy Chief Minister DKS.
Right.
And he's, well, let's just say he's not been shy about making his ambitions known.
He certainly hasn't, especially after those meetings with the Congress High Command in Delhi.
Right, those meetings. Yeah, it was pretty much a straight-up declaration. He's basically saying, look,
Yeah.
I'm not budging from this KPCC president spot unless I get that top job, the CM's chair.
Yeah, a very bold statement. And you have to consider the backdrop here. There's a lot of pressure
Oh, absolutely.
coming from within the state Congress itself to see him removed from that very KPCC leadership position.
Yeah, like a whole faction saying one man, one post, the whole bit.
Right, exactly. On the surface, it sounds, very principled, good governance, all that.
Right, right.
But then you start peeling back the layers and you see how it could be, advancing other agendas within the party.
Oh, absolutely. And it's never just about principles, is it?
Never.
There's always something else going on. And
Yeah.
just as this oust DKS thing was gaining steam, this Honeytrap scandal explodes.
Oh, yeah.
48 politicians allegedly caught up in it, including Rajana, who was leading the charge against DKS. It's like a screenwriter.
Talk about a twist.
Couldn't have come up with that.
Yeah, it definitely changed the dynamic almost instantly when your own reputation's on the line like that.
Right.
It's pretty hard to launch a credible challenge against anyone else.
Yeah, it's like the whole campaign just slammed on the brakes.
Yeah.
And speaking of hitting pause, the Congress High Command seems to be going with that approach, basically telling Siddaramaiah's camp, hold your horses.
At least for now.
At least until after the Zilla and Tulig Panchayat elections.
Yeah.
Those really important local elections.
Right, the district and sub-district level.
Yeah. Huge for building that grassroots support.
Absolutely. And strategically, it makes sense. You don't want internal squabbles overshadowing these elections.
Of course not.
Got to present a united front, right? But here's the thing.
Yeah.
This isn't a resolution. It's just a pause. Those ambitions, that power struggle, it's all still simmering beneath the surface.
And that's really what we want to get into in this deep dive with you today. It's not just about the headlines. We want to go deeper.
Exactly.
And look at the motivations, the power dynamics, what's really driving this whole standoff in Karnataka.
Because what might seem like simple political infighting actually has huge implications for the future leadership of the state.
And that KPCC president role, it's not just some symbolic title. It's a serious power center within the party.
Oh, it is.
I mean, think about it. Control over the party organization.
Candidate selection during elections?
Exactly. Shaping the party's agenda. It's like having a major advantage on the chessboard.
It is whoever controls that position has a huge say in the party's direction and ultimately who gets to climb the ladder.
And DKS gets that. He understands the stakes. That's why he's being so firm about not resigning unless he gets that CM spot.
What's interesting to me is how open he's being about his ambition.
Mm-hmm.
He's not hiding it. He wants to be chief minister.
And holding on to that KPCC presidency is like a key part of that plan.
Exactly. It lets him project strength, maintain his influence within the party.
And then on the other side, you have Siddaramaiah, a seasoned politician.
Very experienced.
Who probably isn't thrilled about having a deputy who's constantly eyeing the top spot. It creates this natural tension.
An undercurrent of one-upmanship, as one analyst, Vishwa Shetty, put it, and it's so accurate.
It really is. It's not just about disagreeing on policy. It's a fundamental rivalry for power.
Absolutely. These are two heavyweights in the Karnataka Congress, and their ambitions are clashing.
And then just to add another layer to this whole thing, you've got Public Works Minister Satish Jargon publicly saying he wants that KPCC president role. He's even claiming there was an agreement for a leadership change after the Lok Sabha elections.
It definitely adds another dimension, suggesting that these power struggles have been brewing for a while.
Right, like everyone's jockeying for position.
Exactly. It shows that DKS isn't the only one with his eyes on that prize.
But DKS didn't seem too bothered by Jarkiholi's claim, did he?
No, not at all. His response was pretty dismissive. Something like,
Yeah, he basically said,
KPCC posts aren't sold in shops. You can't win them by running to the media.
Which is a pretty clear message to both his rivals and the party in general.
It is. He's portraying himself as someone who earned his position through hard work and strategy.
Not backroom deals or media statements.
Right.
So where does this leave us right now? It feels like we're in a holding pattern. Siddaramaiah's camp wants change. DKS is digging in his heels.
You've got the Honeytrap scandal, adding a whole other layer of uncertainty, and the high command basically saying, everybody chill.
At least until these local elections are done.
Right, but it's important to remember this is just a pause, not a resolution.
Yeah.
The underlying tensions, the ambitions, they haven't gone anywhere. The high command's just trying to manage things, keep up appearances.
Right.
At least for now.
And when you really get down to it, this isn't really about party rules or one man, one post. It's about the long game.
Absolutely.
It's about who's going to be in the best position when the next opportunity for leadership comes up, especially with 2028 on the horizon.
Yeah, that KPCC president role, it's a stepping stone.
Exactly. Whoever controls it has a huge advantage in shaping the future of the party and influencing elections.
And for someone who wants to be chief minister, that's a pretty valuable asset.
So to recap, you have DKS determined to hold on to that KPCC presidency because he sees it as crucial for his ambitions.
You have factions within the party actively pushing for him to step down.
And you have the Congress high command trying to keep the peace, at least until after these local elections.
And don't forget that insight from Vishwas Shetty about the undercurrent of one-upmanship between Siddaramaiah and Shivakumar.
Right. It really highlights that personal rivalry that's fueling this whole thing.
It's not just about roles, it's about personalities and power dynamics.
And then you throw in Jarkiholi's claim and DKS's dismissive response.
Yeah.
It just shows how much maneuvering is going on behind the scenes and how many different interpretations there are.
It's a reminder that politics is rarely straightforward.
So for now, things might seem calm, but that doesn't mean the tension has gone away. This feels like just the beginning.
I agree. The underlying issues haven't been resolved, and those ambitions are still there. We're likely to see more power plays down the line.
Especially after those local elections wrap up.
Yeah, things could shift pretty quickly after that.
Which brings us to something we want you to think about. What are the long-term consequences of all this for the Congress in Karnataka?
Right.
How will this power struggle between factions and leaders impact the stability of the state's government as we head towards 2028?
It's a crucial question.
It is, because this isn't just some abstract political drama. This is real life with real consequences for the people of Karnataka.
Absolutely, and the story is far from over.
That's for sure. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the Karnataka political scene. We'll be back soon with more.
Looking forward to it.
All right, until then,
Take care.
see ya.